of these sort of environmental harms that is happening. And I would say all of the different topics we talk about, sort of climate change and weather resilience, all play a key role in solving environmental injustices. And so, because there are so many environmental injustices and so many people who were really impacted by this issue, as our team was coming together and thinking about, well, how do we really solve this? How do we empower communities to develop autonomy and develop solutions to the issues that they're facing in their own communities? And so we realized that we really lack community-driven opportunities, education, empowerment, and ownership over food, water, air, energy, and transportation, right? There's so many avenues where we can solve this, but we really came up with how do we empower communities to do this, and how do we use AI? And so we thought about using AI to identify and address environmental justice neighborhoods and to build environmental justice community centers. And Michael is going to come up and talk a little bit more about the solutions we identified and some possible challenges and constraints.
Hi, I'm Michael. So the reason we went with a community center to tackle environmental injustice was that using AI, we could model like pilot programs to kind of help out like the community. So the way that would work, basically every citizen who can input data for their own particular situation, they become like an input data to aid that model. So the programs that would be created through this center would be the most representative of the community as opposed to institutions we currently have in place. So some challenges and constraints we ran into, like with this idea, would most likely be things like community participation and like backlash resistance. Because this is like a community movement, it does take a community to participate. Also, other challenges that we ran into were things like meaningful representation, environmental issues that don't just affect one community but affect several, and also sources of funding. Possible alternatives that we came up with were expert consultation systems. So basically just having like environmental experts come in or health experts to come in and address the community about things like that. Centralized government and decentralized community-driven authorities, basically like putting the community's well-being in the hands of, you know, like a certain group of people or something like that to make the shots for the community. The reason we went with our model, an API model-driven idea, was that with expert consultation systems and governments, as like you all know, people can get paid off or like chosen to represent a certain thing. So with using AI to like use data and model new solutions, AI can't really be like bought off or bribed or anything like that. It's pretty much whatever data we put in, we'll get the solution that could possibly be best for the community that way. So that is our happy community.